Hello there, grade 3 students! Welcome to math class again. Okay, so for today we are going to have another lesson that is on topic 14. Lesson 1, time to the minute on pages 739 to 742. Okay, for this lesson we will need your math book, your pencil, an analog clock, and a digital clock. Okay, so for today's lesson objective, you say, I can show and tell time to the minute using clocks. All right, but first let us have a review, okay? Let's have a review for the lessons that you had about time before. Okay, we have first the vocabulary words. Now we have the shorthand, okay, which is called the hour hand. And this longhand, which is called the minute hand. So this is what we call the analog clock. Repeat after me, analog clock. Good job. Is there any analog clock around you? Good, okay. Next, we have this clock. We have the first numbers, and that's what we call the hour. And the 00, which is the minute. And this symbol, which what we call the colon. So this is the digital clock. Okay, so you can see here a clock face, an empty clock face. It doesn't have any numbers and it doesn't have any hands on it. Now we're going to put the numbers on the clock face. So the first number that we're going to put is 12. Okay, so at the very top center part is number 12. Just right below it is 6. Good. Now let's go to the quarter numbers. The right quarter number is 3, and the opposite of 3 is 9. Okay, now let's move on. We have here after 12, we have there 1. After 1 is 2, and then 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So there are just only numbers 1 to 12 for the hour. Okay, now we have here, you can see the small lines, okay, in between the hour. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it will reach, you will count 5 when you go to the next hour. Now that's what we call the minutes. Okay, so the minutes in between 12 and 1, okay, is 5 minutes. By the way, the minutes for 12 is 00 or o'clock or 60. Okay, now we have here for 1, we have 5. Just skip count by 5. After 5 is 10 for 2. After 10 is, good, 15. After 15 is 20. Good job. After 20 is 25. Next, 30. Okay, notice that the half of 60, or the opposite of 60, is 30. Meaning to say the half of 60, or the half hour, is 30 minutes. Okay, after 30 is 35, then 40, then 45, then 50, then 55, and for 12 it's 60. So meaning to say, if you will count the small lines in between the hours, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have 5 here, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and so on. So if you will count the lines, that would all be 60. Do you get that? So before, okay, see for example, you have here the hour is at 12. Okay, the long hand would travel around the clock. Okay, it will travel around 60 times for you to get to the next hour. Now we have, okay, the shorthand is at 2. The shorthand is what we call the hour hand. Good. Now we have here the long hand. The long hand is at 12, or since the long hand is the minute hand, we're not going to look at the hour numbers. Instead, we're going to look at the minute numbers. So we have the minute is 0, 0. And from this, we can say that the time is at 2 for the hour, and then the symbol colon, and then the minute o'clock. Do you understand? Okay, good. Now we also have here the phrase minutes past. Remember this one. When you say minutes past, it could mean after. Okay, and then we also have the phrase minutes to. And minutes to could mean before. Okay, remember that one because we're going to use that one later. Good.
Hey, Rita, do you know what time it is? Rita doesn't know what time it is. But if she knew how to tell time using a clock, she'd be able to answer that question. There are two kinds of clocks. The first type is an analog clock. An analog clock is generally in the shape of a circle. The circle is divided into 60 equal parts. 1 part for each minute in an hour. Every 5th minute mark is numbered. 1 mark for each of 12 hours. And analog clocks have 2 hands, a short hand that shows the hour and a long hand that shows the minutes. We tell time by looking at the hour hand first. Look, it's a little past the 3. And the minute hand is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes past 3. The clock says 3:30. The second kind of clock is a digital clock. It shows the time just like we would write it. The digital clock says 3:30. Did you see that? The minute hand has moved. The hour hand still says it's after 3, and the minute hand is past 3:30. But what time is it, precisely, down to the minute? The minute hand is 1, 2, 3 minutes past 3:30. The digital clock writes out the time like this. It's precisely 3:33. Now, Rita knows how to tell time to the minute. Well, we're out of time for now. See you soon.
Okay, good job. So that video really helps you a lot on how to tell time to the minute. It's very easy, isn't it? Okay, so now we are going to have page 739 in your book. Please open it. Good, let's do the solve and share. Let's read the problem together. Ready? Okay, we have Sander and his mother are flying from New York to Chicago. Their plane is scheduled to arrive at 8:47. How can you use a clock to show this time? Explain how you solved the problem. Okay, so first we are going to show the hour and minute hands for 8:47 on a clock face. So what tools will you use to show the hour and the minute hands? An analog clock face, okay? You can also use paper and pencil for you to do it. All right? So how can you show the time 8:47 in an analog clock face? First, locate the hour hand. Okay, so the hour hand is at 8, okay? And count by fives and ones to locate the minute hand. Okay, where should the minute hand point to show 47 minutes after 8? All right, so we have here. Okay, first we are going to locate 8. Where is 8 there for the hour? Okay, we have here 8. But notice, okay, remember, we are not going to mark 8 o'clock, okay? We are going to mark 8:47, and 47 is already after 8 o'clock, okay? So, as you move the long hand to 47, okay? Where is 47 here? Always remember that 1 is at 0, 5. Okay, 5, and then 2 is 10. And then 3 is at 15. 4 is at 20. 5 is 25. 6 is 30 minutes. 7 is 35. 8 is 40. 9 is 45. 10 is 50. And 11 is 55. And 12 is 60 or o'clock. Okay, so again, we have here 8:47. So the long hand is at 47. Now we have here 45. Okay, after 45, we will count by ones. So we have 46, 47. So meaning to say the long hand or the minute hand is at 47. What about the short hand? Are we going to directly point it to 8? No, because as the long hand moves, the short hand also moves, all right? So it's not anymore pointing to 8 directly. Hence, it will be pointing to this point, not in between 8 and 9. The shorthand should be closer to 9. Why closer to 9? Because it is about to be 9 o'clock. Okay, so you say, I used skip counting by fives and ones to find 8:47 on the clock. Did you understand? Good. Okay, now let's try the look back. Okay, we have how many minutes before 9 is Sanders' plane scheduled to arrive? To show a time after 8, but before 9. Where did you draw the hour hand on the clock face? Be as precise as possible. Okay, so we have here all right, 13 minutes before 9. The hour hand points between the 8 and 9, but closer to the 9 than to the 8, since 8:47 is after 8:30. Okay? How did you know that it's 13 minutes before 9? Always remember that there are 60 minutes, right? There are 60 minutes in one whole hour. Now, the time is at 8:47. Okay, now how many minutes, you have here the minutes 4 to 7. How many minutes do you need before you reach 60? Okay, you have here 4 to 7 plus 13 is 60. Once you reach 60, that is now at 9 o'clock. All right, good. Next.
How do you tell time to the nearest minute? Let's find out. The clock shows the time a train from Memphis is scheduled to arrive at Central Station. What time is the train scheduled to arrive? Write the time in digital form and in two other ways. Analog clocks are tools that can help you show and tell time to the nearest minute using minute and hour hands. Why is an analog clock a good tool for showing time to the nearest minute? On an analog clock, the hour and minute hands point to precise locations on the clock face and help you visualize time. Digital form uses numbers and symbols to show and tell time. You can also write time using words and numbers. Step 1. The hour hand is between 12 and 1. The time is after 12 o'clock and before 1 o'clock. Step 2. In 5 minutes, the minute hand moves from one number to the next. Count by fives from the 12 to the 8. This is 40 minutes. Step 3. In 1 minute, the minute hand moves from one mark to the next. Count 2 more minutes. The digital time is 12:42. It is 42 minutes past 12, or 18 minutes to 1. When the time is 12:42, why is the hour hand closer to the 1 than to the 12 on the clock face? There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Because 42 minutes is more than half, or 30 minutes of an hour, the hour hand will be between the 12 and the 1, but closer to the 1. In steps 2 and 3, what strategies can you use to correctly place the minute hand? Count by fives from the 12 to the 8, and then count by ones to show 42 minutes after 12. Now you know how to tell time to the nearest minute.
Okay, now let's do the essential question on page 740 of your book. We have here, how do you tell time to the nearest minute? Okay, we have the clock shows the time a train from Memphis is scheduled to arrive at Central Station. What time is the train scheduled to arrive? Write the time in digital form and in two other ways. Okay, we have here the clock. Okay, what kind of clock is this? That is an analog clock, all right? Okay, analog clocks are tools that can help you show and tell time to the nearest minute using minute and hour hands. And digital form uses numbers and symbols to show and tell time. You can also write time using words and numbers. Now, what does the clock show? The clock shows, accordingly, it's 12:40. What time is it? 12:42. Okay, so we have here all right, so we have here some steps on how to identify or how to tell time to the nearest minute. Step 1. The hour hand is between 12 and 1. The time is after 12 and before 1 o'clock. Step 2. In 5 minutes, the minute hand moves from one number to the next. Count by fives from the 12 to the 8. So that's 40 minutes. Step 3. In 1 minute, the minute hand moves from one mark to the next. Count 2 more minutes. The digital time is 12:42. Or you can also say it is 42 minutes past 12. Or 18 minutes to 1. Did you understand? Good. Now we have here the convince me part. A train arrives from Atlanta 1 hour after the Memphis train. Write the arrival time of the Atlanta train in digital form and 2 other ways. Use a clock face to help. Always remember that the Memphis train arrived at 12:42. Now, what is 1 hour? What is 1 hour after 12:42? How are you going to do that? Just notice here the hour hand, okay? The hour hand is in between, or not really in between because it's more than half. The minutes is more than half. It's near 1 o'clock, okay? Just move 1 hour, okay? Going to the right, okay? So now it's pointing to the time between or close to 2 o'clock. So hence, 1 hour after 12:42 is 1:42. So as you can see, the only changed number is the hour number. Okay, so after 12, 1 hour after 12 is 1. But the minutes are just the same, 42. Okay, so another way of saying 1:42 is 42 minutes past 1. Okay, or you can say 18 minutes to 2. All right, very easy. Okay, thank you so much, grade 3, for listening. This is just a part 1 of the video. Please continue watching for its part 2. Okay, thank you so much and have a great day.